Hello and welcome to another weekly live stream. Tonight we're basically just dropping in where I'm in the middle of, trying to continue kind of where we left off before, making the bandit camp work. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Yep, those are the patrons scrolling up there. If you would like to become a patron, just the Patreon link is around. It's in the doobly-doo down below and all the other places as well. If you download the game, you can also join the Discord. That's where other fellow Mythrunians hang out. Oh, look how dark we are. Let's turn on the light. Hey, look at that. That's bright. There we go. Oops, that's changing the color. Yeah, I like that color. Let's make it a little dimmer. There we go. Look a little less washed out that way. You can see my gray beard, scruffy. Okay, so what were we doing? So last time we were messing with, trying to make the bandits do their thing, and there was some jank with respect to the pathfinding. So that's one of the areas I've been dealing with this past week in my free time, is diving in and trying to fix the pathfinding. So what I did was I exported that little area where we have the bandit camp, and I enhanced that so that when you do that, it'll also pick up some of the objects. So like as long as they're not custom objects, if they're standard, like you can see the chest over here, that's, and then the campfire, but that let me do things like try to recreate that test we had where we had, you know, the human female down here, and then I was trying to get her to you know, head up here, and she couldn't jump up. So I fixed the jumping, and then in the process of fixing the jumping, also I figured out why they were jumping way up in the air. It was because the gravity was set different in the simulation versus the real game. So she gets to the campfire okay, and then the other thing I was looking at was like as soon as I fixed that, then she couldn't fall off of these things anymore. Well, now she can do that again. So hopefully, as far as navigation goes, it's not perfect. Like you see, she tries to jump up on the campfire, but she finishes and she does what she's supposed to do. And there's some glitches in how she pathfinds, but it's functional enough that she can make her way all around the town to go to different places. I have tested that. And so, you know, in that light, I'm just going to leave it. I know there's still problems, but until they actually cause problems, I'm going to like wait because we got other things to do. And so now if we run, the other thing is that sort of a problem I glossed over last time was that when we first run the game, all of the agents that were around the player were brain dead because they got activated before the resources were available to really set up their brain. So there was like all these null pointer exceptions that happened during initialization. And so right before the live stream, I was trying to finalize all that. The towns, the habitats are managed on a background thread, but brains, when they're active, are very important to manage on the game loop thread because they do a lot of scripting and stuff, and all that stuff has to be on the game loop unless it's specifically written to spool off, which some do, but it's just better for the brain if it knows it's running on the game loop thread. Things are just way simpler. If it needs to do something in the background, it can. But as it turns out, like, yeah, these stack traces always freak me out, but they're just, yeah. Oh yeah, I was trying to find out where we set gravity. Anyway, so basically, now we don't get null pointer exceptions, but they also don't initialize. You can't, like, there's no status text above their heads. However, if we go and force the script to reload, you know, now that the game is fully loaded, and they'll all go about what they're supposed to be doing. So two of them are supposed to be sleeping. They still wander to sleep, and he's on watch. But now if they wander off the camp, you know, they will find their way back. So he's going to jump down here, And when his watches, oh no, actually he figured out he was too far away, and so he jumped back up to come back over here. So they're doing what they're supposed to. I think one of the first things I'm going to do though is right now in our brain prototype stuff, we're just setting this disposition on tops of their heads. I think I want that to be a little more advanced. Like I want it to show their disposition, what activity they're running right now, and maybe what action they're running, so that we can sort of keep a better eye on what they're doing without having to consult the logs all the time. Like, are they doing a wander action, or are they actually pathfinding? That's one of the things that I have trouble telling here. But like the patrol, when they start patrolling in the day, they're going to wander far and wide, and we're going to want to know whether they're doing just a standard wander action. Like he's doing a wander action right now, I bet. And there'll be ways to fix these corner traps that they get in the random wander. So anyway, so what I want to do is I want to add a little hook or something. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. I started to add a hook feature, like a debug hook that you could put on the character drivers, but we actually don't have access to the character drivers where we would need it. So I was trying to figure out where in here. What we do have access to. Oh, so yeah, they switched. They just switched roles. Yeah, so she's on watch now. Everybody else is sleeping, so they're all going to try to come back to camp. Actually, I'm not sure why he didn't try to come back to camp. Maybe he did and failed. Anyway, so that's another thing. It would be nice to be able to click on them. So this was true last time too. If you walk up and talk to them, you get like a custom menu of things you can do for them. And so we can, and that's set up in this script as well, so we can add things to that, like if we wanted to see what their current schedule is, and potentially we could log some things to see failure. Sleepwalking to fire, that's some nightmare fuel, yeah. I need to, can I, yeah, so if I, it's not solid object, because I guess the campfire is, yeah, stop bugging me there, dude. Like if I'm, what? Oh, I think because it's a special object, I can't. I was gonna try to make it solid, but like, look, we can walk right through it, and it's supposed to be solid. Like the tents are solid. I can actually walk up the sides of the tent, which is kind of fun. And my makeshift bench here is solid. Anyway, so let me see if I can figure out. I think it's in these managed mobs themselves. I'm going to have to add a hook because we get an opportunity. Is it in the settlement configuration where we could potentially set a hook? Yeah, so in the settlement, we get an on activate, on deactivate, but we don't. Well, whenever a new day kicks over, we get an opportunity to iterate. Oh, well, in the habitat itself is so on a new day, we can get all of the mobs. Yeah, that's another thing, is we assume that we've already loaded all of our mobs by this point. Oh yeah, after last week there was a bunch of problems, like this whole catch-up thing. Technically, like the routines and the schedules, you should pretty much ignore the catch-up. It will call do routine when it's supposed to, or on event start when it's supposed to. You don't have to do that on catch up. So I had like all kinds of problems that I debugged on Sunday. I'm trying to think. Okay, so I'm gonna end up having to stop the game anyway. Oh no, my neck's hurting. So I'm just trying to figure out where to make the modification. So I think if we're gonna have to stop the game anyway, let's just hack some stuff in. I can always remove it later. So in the settlement, managed mob, let's so we'll just do that, and then mob created this, and then in here, private. Wait, what do I really want to do? Do I want to reset the debug text every? Yeah, for the okay. This is not this is not an efficient way to do this. Do I want brain or just entity ID? Let's just say entity ID. Because essentially running this every update is like not very efficient. But it's just for us in this environment. And so that's that. And then in the updates, we want to say if update hook not equal to null, update hook. I ate like a snack right before this and now I've got burps. Alright, now we're going to need to function. Let's just do, we're hacking in anyway. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the ability to add an update hook on mob created. And so before we start up again, we can add this in, and it's I had all of the stuff ready already. There's somebody just did something that caused a little animated thing on the chat. I'm not sure what that was about. Okay, so then just to be safe, we'll call a superclass because it's just a good idea. And so here is where we could say mob set update hook mob ID. Oh, this is groovy. So and it goes like this. Yeah. And actually we could just do this too. The thing is, I think I want to do something better. Class status debug text updater implements consumer. I can spell. What's the big deal? Object mob ID. It's an entity ID. We know that. Okay. And there's a reason I'm going to do this because I want to hold state. Because I mean, even though we already know we're going to be inefficient by calling it every frame, I can at least be a little smart about it. Technically, we only need one instance. Okay, let's just see if this runs and compiles. Oh yeah, duh. Settlement, that's what we want. It is entity.getID we want to send. Here we go. Hope you all had a productive week. I been super busy at work, and then would kick off and then sit and debug pathfinding. I feel like I'm going to spend the rest of my life debugging pathfinding, unfortunately. But come on. Ever try to drag the slider or the progress bar? I'm dragging it with the mouse. Come on. Whoever wrote this game needs to make the startup faster. Come on. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay, what do we do? Unable to resolve class consumer. Groovy, why you do this to me? We're in the wrong file. I mean, it's technically not Groovy's fault. It's just... it's my own damn fault. The unfortunate part of script or prototype script initialization errors is they come last. So it had almost finished everything it needed to do. This part, recompiling all of the, loading all the Groovy modules. Oh yeah, and like last weekend I spent, oh no, that was the previous time. I spent time like fixing all the gaps in the or accept. Oh, I got fancy and like Groovy is usually pretty forgiving. One of the reasons I use it on these live streams. Anyway, I was going to say, I thought I had also done the fixing of the UV maps, but I had done that before the last live stream. So this clothes look right. Watching the pictures made me think of that. Well, because I've been thinking about what the next steps are once I have AI working and we have to start working on combat. And so then I have to worry about how to indicate damage. And I think I'm going to use a system similar to the clothing system to indicate like cuts and bleeding and bruising and stuff. And so that made me think about the texture mapping. Only thing is, I don't have, for the clothing, I don't have the hands mapped. Will the bandits eventually use their schedule to gather materials, store them, and actually build, upgrade again? I don't. So, the game world seeks balance. It doesn't want to expand necessarily, but yes, like if they're out of camp, if they're out of food or firewood, then ultimately yes, I would like them to go out and forage as part of the person who's staying back every day. It rotates to be different people. I expect them to like do a little bit of gathering, cooking for the rest of the camp and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Hey, She ran right into me. Okay. Let's see. So everything is set up. Let's see. Let's see. Where can I get what I want? I may have messed up. So I should be able to get the brain from the entity. If mob id.brain equals null, return. Otherwise, let's see, what can we get from the brain? We can get the disposition graph, which tells us the current disposition, I believe. Get active disposition. Okay, so disposition. Oh, they're all going to eat breakfast now. Position last. Disposition. Brain equals mob id.brain. Actually, let's put that up here. So we only have to retrieve it once. And brain get disposition graph get. Oh yeah, get active disposition. If last disposition not equal to disp equals disp boolean update text false, update text equals true. If update text string text equals d last disposition name, and then mob id new debug text. I think I already have an example of this. Yeah, we're going to stop doing that. And so then we'll just say text. And now let's see if this actually works. It appears no. You didn't like something? Oh yeah, okay. That's a dumb coder error. I'm good at those. There we go. Hey! Okay, things are failing badly. No signature of method get active disposition. Didn't we decide there was, though? It'd be cooler if there was. Get active disposition. What are you complaining about then? No method of brain. What now? Brain. Get disposition graph. I must have misspelled something. Boy, but that's a lot of text, isn't it? Disposition graph. Get active disposition. What is it complaining about? It's complaining a lot, though. No signature method brain. Get active. Oh, disposition. I just spelled it wrong. Because that's my way. That is my way. Yay! Look. Okay, so now we see what their current disposition is. That's good. We will continue with activity. If we can spell it correctly. Last activity. We will do something similar for this. Activity equals brain. I think we have to ask the activity kernel, which is private because we're not supposed to do this. But Groovy lets us do it anyway, because it'd be cool like that. And in fact, activity kernel will not let us get the current activity either. It doesn't actually know. We have to ask the current context. And then the context will know the activity. Right? Right. Just nod and say if you say so, Paul. I think we'll always have one of those, but we may not have an activity. If last activity is not equal to activity, last activity equals activity, update text equals true, text plus equals new line, act, last activity dot get class dot get simple name. I think that will work. Well, it didn't error out, did it? Aha! Look at that. Okay, so it might seem a little redundant because of the way we've got the activities wired. And that's actually not a bad observation. I don't know how useful this is going to be when we really want to know what the most forked activity is. Well, we can at least do action. Private just object last action. I don't know the exact type name, so def action equals brain.agent. Oh boy. Do we know what the current action is? Current agent action. Well, there's the type too, agent action. See, this isn't going to be tremendously useful either. We're probably going to want to add debug strings. Because a lot of times this current agent action is going to be things like a sequence action. Or similar. Last action equals action. Update text equals true. Yeah, so like activity versus. I think that we'll just assume that the name activity is going to be in there. And then similar, we'll do last action. Okay, let's see. Alright, so yeah, forked action. See, this is the thing. Probably I want to add a debug info to activity and forked action. Or, because forked action is not useful to action in general. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's try to rush through this. I just feel like we're gonna, for one thing, you guys will be able to see what's going on a lot better if these guys have like text like that above their heads. And so I think it pays to add these things in. get status text. And then, unfortunately, we're going to have to add a bunch of stuff. I think if we give them a default implementation, return get class dot get simple name. Okay, so that'll be like the baseline. And then if we have things like a sequence action, instead of that, what we would want to return is that plus maybe if current action not equal to null, then we'll do this current action dot get status text. Otherwise, we'll just return super get status text. And then I don't think retry action is a similar deal. Only this time we'll always run a turn, or we'll return retry attempts. Oh, we can actually say count out of attempts delegate dot get status text. So see, we're getting a little bit more information. I think all of these other guys are fine. Where we want to interpose ourselves is in the agent kernel, or activity kernel, these forked actions, forked action. And this one we'll just delegate directly. Okay, and then for activity, I think I want to do similar. And then is there an abstract activity? Nope. And so when maybe we don't want that. Maybe we want to add this to here. Oops, that's not right. It's just, yeah, get status text here. Oh, got an itch. 1 second. Itch under the headphones, never a good thing. Okay. Let's see. You guys can track my hairline in real time over the years of live streams. Okay, so if there's an activity stack, run activity, set current activity, and set current activity will create a context. Each of those contexts, the context might fork. So if we're forked, we're really running the nested one. So let's say return, so if current context equals null, return no activity. Otherwise, return current context, like get status text. I cannot stress enough how important it is sometimes to build these debug things into your code. They will save you man years. And especially if you have like live update capabilities like Mythruna does, and things like that. Because just being able to like query the state of things without having to run a debugger or stop the app and add a bunch of logging, super useful. All forked activities will be run inline, but we don't want. But we want to make sure not to start them. Yes. So yeah, we have parents. Do we know the delegate? We have a forked action. What happens when we fork an action? We create the child context. We put that in and we run it. So if we already had it, we just keep running it. We actually don't know what our children are or what the current is because we run them. That's interesting. And so if we want to keep track of this, we kind of have to build up a yeah, interesting. So a child knows about its parent because it needs to report its status, but otherwise this is hands off. The idea being, when we're in one of these activities, I think I have one up here that calls fork. So the 10 camp activity, right? We fork out this walk job. And it's like if you were running a behavior tree, it's actually going to run that walk job right now. It's going to call its run method. And so every time we're called, if this is true, we're going to call run on walk job. And it keeps track of the state of whether we've forked it before or whether this is the first time we're forking it, etc., so that it can like start and stop. But so then these nested, the activity context doesn't know what its children are because it's just going to run them every time. Because we might run them in a different order every time this run call. So it's trying to act like a behavior tree, but give you some more sort of hooks into it and make it more declarative. Because I don't want it to be like a config file where we, chain a bunch of stuff together. I want to be able to write code in here and have the conditions be code and not special nodes in a tree. I just feel like it reads better. And so the context doesn't know what child it's running because that was called in here. And so what needs to happen, so this is kind of a useful exercise because there is currently no way to know this information without like sifting through the logs. And so if we collect this as the forks are happening, yeah, interesting. So let's do this. Statuses. The unfortunate thing is this, like, I think this infrastructure is probably temporary. Let's return. Okay, first of all, we can say if we have a forked action, we can return forked action dot get status text which we've already had mapped through. Otherwise, let's just return statuses to string. And then when we let's change the name of this actually. Activity statuses. Actually, what we can do is just include that in the activity statuses when we fork the action. And so every time we run, protected void add activity status string status. And so if parent not equal to null, add it to the parent. Alright, so we'll bubble them all up to the root. And yeah, so most of them will tell you nothing. We could keep it along the way, but and so then whenever we run, we clear. So whenever we run, statuses clear, our activity statuses, and then when we run, yeah, I chose not to do, that's right. I think we'll just do names for now. Then we'll say add activity status activity.get class .get simple name. Okay. And so then what happens is when we call fork, yes, when we run action call fork, it will create a oh, not action. When we call fork, it'll run that activity, but it'll actually call the run method on that activity right here. A little bit, yeah. I took a walk. I walked over to the grocery store yesterday to get some sushi for lunch. And yeah, I mean the air definitely smelled weird, and it was super hazy. And I was sort of fine on the way to the store. It was like on the way back. It's about a mile round trip. And by the time I was getting home, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely ready to be back inside. But we just got a bunch of rain today, like flood warnings and everything. And so hopefully it cleared some of it out of the air locally. So anyway, this fork will run, which is basically going to call that run, which will add, so it should bubble up all the text. We want to do something similar for the run action. And in fact, we included the word fork, I think. Yep. Oh. There we go. No, we just delegate. Okay, cool. So then we didn't even really need that then. We could have just said action.get status text. Alright, let's see how badly I have screwed all this up. But that means that in our thing here, where did it go? Down here, where we made the thing, this thing, instead of this, we can just ask the activity kernel, which is what we're just editing, for its status text. Status text. Alright, let's see what happens. That's all we can do. That's not all we can do, but it's probably the most productive thing we can do. Oh, yeah. It's like halfway through an aborted approach. And where's the activity kernel? There it is. So on line 80. Oh yeah. Activity done, kernel done, override, nothing. Jump action is not abstraction, is not okay, so we're going to eat out. That's right, I knew there was going to be a bunch of these that complained about the missing status texts because they don't override this. But that's okay, it gives us an opportunity to decide if they should. So see, one of the things was oh, sequence action, it probably doesn't need the super call because it's only implementing. There is no super. And so we'll do that. And then the other one, walk action. Why didn't any of these, maybe perhaps previously the base class didn't exist. That's what I'm going to guess. Stub walk action. I could have added a default, I guess, to the interface, default implementation. But I kind of wanted to know, yeah, walk waypoints is one we probably will want to add additional status to at some point. Because wouldn't it be nice to know how far we are in the along the path? All right, let's see if I caught them all, like Pokemon. Nope. Jump action. Oh yeah. The one that should have stuck out the most did not. All right, that should work. How about you, Chuck? Are you affected by the fires where you are? But it is kind of weird when it gets really hazy here to look out the window and see all of the atmosphere between me and the trees off in the distance. Kind of reminds me of Mythruna when you've got the clip really set really low. All right. I was hoping to at least get to like the patrol activity today. Washington. Oh wow. Yeah. We're here. So I'm here in Northern Virginia, and normally there's a sort of a mass of whoa. Uh-oh. Somebody's unhappy. Error during iteration. Cannot cast no activity with class string to. Oh yeah, of course. I should have known better. Anyway, in the the Washington D.C. area, it's normally kind of a high ozone, like sort of. A couple years ago, we had wildfires first time in. Wow. Anyway, it's normally kind of hazy around here because there's a sort of ozone layer that hangs around. Oh, why does it just say string? Oh, get class. Yes, of course. We don't want to do that anymore. We just want to say this. Ooh. Okay, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And forked action is not doing what it's... Oh, that's because I've got to say... We got to add all the things. Get status text. So... Okay, so we'll at least get the action. The activity thing is not working at all. Did I do it wrong? I may just forget about it for now. So they've definitely got a context. And we clear it on run. That's fine. And then we should be... Oh... Yeah, so it calls all the parent. It never actually adds the text to its local activity statuses. All right. Okay, so that's worth a restart because that should clear things up a lot. Now, whether it creates too much garbage on the screen is another question. Oh, brother. Did I spell it wrong? I did. So. But yes, anyway, the air quality has been a little bad around lately. But maybe we can show an example in the game of what it looks like around here. Come on. Come on, little slider. Come along. Okay. And here we go. All the way into the game from whence we came not a moment ago. It loads so slow. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Alright, no activity, no activity, no activity. So that's fine because remember we got to reset the script in order to make the things happen. I think, unless it crashed and I just didn't note it. Nope, there they go. Alright, 10 camp, wander out. Yeah, look at that. So we probably don't need to say the action because we're going to get that down here. I could probably take that out of the status, but it's not harmful. If that gets really long, like if we have a lot of nested activities, that could get like harmful. Like when when he finally decides he wants to go back up, we ought to see his 10 camp activity turn into something else. What time is it in the game? So they just, yeah, so he wants to go to dinner now. So yeah, so look, now he's got walk to nearest object and a sequence action. Nice, okay. Now they're back to wander. So now, as I develop things, we'll be able to see what they're thinking, sort of. Right? Hopefully my thing is still working here. Okay. All right. And what I was talking about, let me back up time a little bit. So, like, you know how, let's go up here. You see the haze on those trees in the distance? Normally, it's probably about like this around here, which is pretty hazy. But lately, it has been more like this. Like where you can see the atmosphere for sure. It may actually have been as bad as... No, it's not as bad as that. So yeah, something like this. I mean, I can actually... So we get like a plethora of settings we could mess with here. So I could do this. Yeah, actually, it was about like this yesterday. It's rained since then, so it's not, but now. But yeah, it was about like this yesterday. You look out and you could actually see the air. But anyway, that's this is killing performance on my box right now. I think it's the trees that do it, but like the real trees. Alright, so let's take this clip back to 3, which is the default. And yeah, we'll up the terrain level again. Wink. Wink. There we go. Now everything looks purty again. It threw into wildfire mode. Yeah, exactly. Well, someday maybe, right? I do want to have smoke. Whether it'll be like all-encompassing in the air like that or not, well, remains to be seen. Oh, let's see if he'll make it back to camp after dinner. Like, he's wandered far away. Like, my dude, what are you doing all the way over here? It's dinner time. You should be over at the camp. Let's see if you have enough iterations to navigate back to camp when it's time. Speaking of, it will be... No, I think it's going to be a while. Let's advance time. Oh, no, there he goes. There he goes. He navigated back. He figured out a path. Yeah, that sequence action needs to be resolved, but look at that. He like wandered. That's a long way. He path found all the way back to camp, so that's pretty efficient right now. I'm happy about that. That makes me so happy because this has been so jank for a while. It's still going to be jank, don't get me wrong, but the fact that he could navigate from all the way over here to over here and like straight shot, that has not happened. So that's cool. All right, now we can actually do work. We spent an hour doing debugging stuff, but that literally was what I was about to do before the live stream started. So because it's just so tremendously useful to be able to see what these guys are thinking, and while it's not 100% accurate, it's pretty close. Okay, so what do we want to do first? I think we'll want to have a standstill action that will stand in for sleeping and sitting and yeah, and so we'll just have them go when they want to sleep. We'll have them go. I don't want to get into eventually they'll each own one of these tents, or they'll at least pick among themselves to pick one. Yeah, I still haven't 100% decided on the tent. I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one. I may even make it taller. Like one more up, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to imagine when we have crawl animations if we'll be able to crawl into there. I don't think so. Alright, but I think if they wandered to within 2 meters of the campfire and then just stood there for sleeping, and so let's make a stand still action. And so because they drift, stand still will actually take them to a specific location. So they'll try to get near the campfire. Okay, so stand still action. No action. Oh yeah, so they've already swapped watch. So he's got the watch now, everybody else is sleeping. Alright, so this is why this will be useful. Target location equals target location. And we'll say string type. Okay, and then we can say, oops, public string get status text return type. Okay, then we want start, finish, and update. What do I want to do? I think there'll be a duration. And that means there'll be a timer. So it's going to look a lot like the wander action. Yeah, double duration. That way the activity can check in with it every now and then. Start. This timer duration. And instead of steering primitives wander, we want arrive at. And I just need to double check the steering primitives arrive. Doing. We should have the agent steering primitive arrive. Oops. Arrive. Get agent. Target location. Let's say where we want to be. Min distance. Or yeah, distance is just dist. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Private double distance. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. He's all alone, all alone. Inner time of, she's all alone. Inner time of need. Okay, that should have compiled. Everybody should be doing their thing. Okay. So standstill action, we should be able to use that for sleep. Let me find sleep activity. Oh, they're all using the tend camp activity right now, even for sleeping. All right. So for now, we'll have a stand still activity implements activity. And I don't think we need entity data. Let's leave it out for now. String type. Yeah, this is going to be a little weird. Like technically, why don't we make some specific ones? Let's say sleep activity, and then we don't have to worry about passing all that crap in. We do want to know rec3d target location. Technically, though, we can find that too when we start up. So let's not do that either. So we can say stand still action sleep action, and then on start we will say this.sleep action equals the standstill action, and we're making standstill mean sleep, and the target location is going to be the camp. And so, oh, everybody's going for breakfast. Okay. Okay, so then we can change this to this also. Okay. And the standstill action will be going to the camp location. And within 2 meters. And we will stand there every 5 seconds or so. Oh, we can, yeah, let's keep track of camp location too, why not? So then if we do this, whoops. Okay, and then in run, what we essentially want to do is just keep working. Swimming, just keep swimming. Sleep action. Okay, I think that should compile. Oh, nope, I was wrong. Sleep activity must declare abstract or implement done. Oh. Oh, I guess we do have a done down here, don't we? Done, da dun, dun. Dun, da dun, dun, dun. Okay, it compiled. Now, so then for sleep, we want sleep activity. And yeah, we'll still say brain says zzz. Actually, let's, this will be cool. So every 5 seconds, we won't run again until, so agent.brain say zzz, and then we actually don't need that, but we'll leave it for now. Ooh. Okay, so they're doing breakfast right now, which they probably should also have an activity for. Let's go ahead and time 12 hours. Oop. Uh-oh. Things are unhappy. No such property log for sleep activity. Ah, crap. That is true. Alright. Now what are you complaining about? No such property log for sleep activity. Well, you have one now. You're just taking your time to get past all the logging. Question is it faster to wait or restart the game? Well, while it's doing that, let's make the eat activity. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's go boink boink, and we'll use this trick I know called search and replace. Eat. Boink. Boink, 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 boink. And instead of saying zzz, say yum. Okay. Now we can paste that in here. And we can change breakfast to the eat activity. When they start that, they'll say good morning. And we can change this one also to the eat activity. And I started eat up. Oh wow, it's still going. That can't be right now. Sleep activity definitely has a log now. Okay, so then this is just never going to catch up, basically. Let's try again. Oh no, the Pepsi's gone. Now we're on water. Hey, how's it going? What's up, other big dog? We all big dogs around here. Around these parts. Around these parts, everybody's a big dog. Uh-oh. Your kill's still complaining. Oh no, I put that in there on purpose. I need to take it out, but that's there on purpose. Hope everything's going well. It's going alright. Yeah, one of the things I say a lot. Uh-oh. Why so slow? Uh-oh. Oh, physics messed up. So physics messed up. I had to fall from the sky because I must have fallen through the ground. Fortunately, these guys did not. Okay, so let's... Anyway, one of the things I say, like, if I'm having a bad day or if I'm expecting to have a bad meeting or whatever, somebody says, "Oh, have a good meeting," and I say, I think I have other plans," is one of my stock responses. And I recently ordered a T-shirt that says that. I think I have other plans, and I wanted to wear it tonight, but I didn't. It just came today. I haven't had a chance to wash it yet, so. But yeah, I look forward to wearing that at some point. Uh-oh. See? Why are you complaining? No such property log for standstill. Oh. Completely different problem then. Let me just comment this out real quick before it gets too big. I just joined in. Are things not going as... No, things are fine here. It's just been that kind of week. You know, I spent most of the week debugging pathfinding stuff. Crap. Come on, hurry up. Get past the error. Yeah, it doesn't look to be getting past the error. And I wonder then if I have fallen through the ground again. Like, they shouldn't even be using log anymore. Well, in the meantime, let me go ahead and fix the actual issue. And I have been making a lot of stupid developer mistakes lately. Okay, let's see if it's even still giving me the same error. Nope, same error. On line 34. Yeah, so that's like not even accurate anymore. Yeah, I think when it gets in this state, it's not going to reload because it's too busy. It's not actually going to reload the script because it's too busy running. So unfortunately, we got to start it up again. Oh man, somebody made, I think, chicken lo mein is what it smells like. That's what it smells like. I did eat a snack before the live stream though, so I'm fine. Some of these pictures are definitely cooler than others. And one thing is, you asked if things are not going as planned. One positive thing is that I did not have a plan. So then, by definition, things can only go as planned, or nothing is going as planned, because there was no plan. I was just going to work on what I was working on and talk about it while I did it. Normally I do a little prep before the live streams, but today I worked right up until the time I was hit to go, and I hit go. Alright. Okay, so they are waiting for their brains to be started. I think it'd be funny if just D-null is very close to duh, and that's basically kind of what they're doing. Duh, what do we do? What do we do? Alright, they're working again. Hey, look, they're sleeping. They're not running an action, though. She's got the watch, so she is. So they're just sitting still. Why does their action say null? Oh, because there's a no such property agent. What? Extends abstract agent. No, those are actions. I don't need those. I'm only implementing the activity. So, yeah, no. Abstract agent position action should have an agent. So who's complaining? No such property agent for class sleep activity. Sleep activity. Agent. Agent. Aha. This is the way. So we will say this dot agent equals. There we go. Now that's, well, they should have still said, but they are at least zing. I don't know why it's not changing the forked action. Boy, they snore a lot. Let's make that a 10-second timer. But why does it not show up as a forked action? When I run it. Like, why doesn't it show up here or here? Oh, I know why. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Classic Paul mistake is to pass something on the constructor and then not actually set it. Durr. So now, they are eating breakfast. Yay! So if we had actions for eating, or if we had an action for sitting and sleeping, then we'd be good to go. They are going to do that until 9 o'clock their time, I think. So let's advance time a little bit. So that should shoot it ahead to 7:30. Anyway, let's do another hour. Okay, so that should get us closer. Yeah, so they should hit their patrol pretty soon. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So they're marching. They're tending camp. So now if we make a patrol action, a patrol activity, we can actually do some stuff. And let's see how far we can get with that. Attend camp is as good as it's going to get for right now. That's what she's going to do. She's going to wander camp. I think actually now that we're going to make a new activity. So let's copy the tend camp activity. And, oops. So let's change tend camp to patrol. Itchy nose, man. Why is my nose always itch in the live stream? Maybe it itches all the other times and I just don't notice. Okay, so then let's go ahead and wire the patrol activity to there. Oh, he's pushing me around. Okay, so they've got their patrol activity and it says patrol now. But the reason I wanted to do that is so I can start with the tend camp activity. I want the distance to be smaller. I never, like, There we go. I think I got what was causing the itching gone. I was going to try to make her tight, but 6 meters away from camp. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe she should, for now, let's make sure that it's working right. And so we'll say anytime she's outside of 4, and then we'll let her wander for 10 seconds. I think it'll be a little more dynamic. And so she'll wander, and then she'll, whoever's doing the tending, not she, he. So then they'll try to get closer to the camp. So they're going to wander for 10 seconds. And then if they're more than 6 meters, more than 4 meters away from the campfire, they'll try to head back. And then the patrol, we can start working on making that a longer... They're walking on the tents. I mean, whatever keeps you on board. Anyway, while we're watching this go on, what I want to do... What I want to do... So if this is the campfire here... Right? I want to basically make sure that when they're patrolling, they stay in some radius around here. So initially they will pick a I guess the idea being that if they're too close to the campfire, they will pick a random direction to navigate to, which means they'll actually plot, because it's going to be quite a bit away, right? So they'll find whatever they find quickest out here somewhere, and they will navigate to that. Then they will wander around a little bit there, right? And then pick a different direction that is, and do the same thing, right? So then I need to make a need to make a navigation function, not a navigation function, but a target condition function that operates this way, that I can give it a direction and sort of a maximum distance and a minimum distance, and they will find some kind of solution in that direction. And then we want to make sure that if they ever get outside of this radius, that they try to navigate back in and stuff like that. So I think it'll be an interesting activity to write, but first we need to write the condition. What are you doing, my dude? I think you need to get out of between the tents. You're a little too tense. Ha ha ha. Dad joke. So these guys are wandering far and wide. I like that. I think that's cool. Which one did I adjust? Yeah, I did the tend camp. Yeah, so these guys are still wandering 5 seconds at a time. They should be heading back to camp here pretty soon. Why? I wonder why they haven't figured out that they're too far away from camp, because there's this gate here that says they should navigate back. So that's a little concerning. Let's log. Let's make sure I have a log so I don't. Yeah, there we go. Info dist squared. Dist squared. Oh, so then they figured out that they need to walk back. I wonder if their action was just stuck. Oh well. Well, we have a little more information now if it happens again. Although I'm about to like trash this particular thing. Alright, so let's work on a target condition. Now, a target condition says sort of it influences how the navigation function works. So we can like get an estimated target. We can tell if a path gets us there, like we're done. And the get estimated target is used for heuristic tracking. So yeah, if we just want to go some random way away, so let's say class random direction condition, or direction condition. Implements target condition. So it's going to want one of these. Right now we'll return null for a second. And it's going to want test path. Oh, that's going to be Boolean return false just for now. And then it also extends object action factory. I think we just don't want to do anything with that. We'll just return null. Yeah. I should have added the default implementation there. Alright, so boink 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 boink. Return null. Okay, let's see if that compiles. Ooh, they're going to eat. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, you trying to eat? Oh yeah, so you've got a wander activity that's making you eat, but you didn't navigate back to the... Yeah, they don't do anything on their failure to navigate, and really what they should do is random wander for a little while and try again, in case they position themselves better. I didn't really watch him, so I don't know if he failed to navigate or didn't even try. Like, he may think he's only 6 meters away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he could be close enough that he didn't try. It's hard to say without being able to look at like a log of what they recently did, which is more debugging than I'd like to add in the live stream, but that'd be super useful if we could walk up to him and ask him. Okay, so will this compile? No, missing no such property agent for eat activity. Oh! Well, that would be why. So, yeah, so I did it for one and I didn't do it for the other. So basically eat activity's been broken. I fixed it over here for the sleep activity, but I forgot that they're basically the same. So if we do this, now when they go to eat. Okay, well now I've failed for a different reason. We failed to compile. And no such property. No, that's not what. Error compiling. Unable to resolve class D. Yeah, frick. That's not what we want. We want to come down here. Forgot to strip all of the parameterization out. It was not compiling. There we go. So now this guy should... Oh, he didn't. Yeah, so see, wouldn't it be nice if we could walk up to him and go, like, what was your recent activity? And have it log that. It's more than I want to get done today, right in this live stream. Okay, so you guys are going to sleep and before you need to patrol, so we've got a little time. So what do we want to say for a direction condition? We want to say, first of all, the direction. We want to say max distance, double min distance. So go in any direction you can. The most efficient way you can to... So basically what we'll do is when we initiate, we'll pick a random direction and we'll use the max distance to set like a target location, but we'll use the min distance to say no matter how far we've navigated trying to get to this position, if we're farther away than some minimum distance, then just stop there. So like if there's a mountain in the way here, in the act of trying to get there, it's gonna navigate around to this way, and if it ever gets across here, it'll decide, okay, that's where I'm going to stop. And so that'll be part of this. And we need to know then the source location. So private, and I want to keep all of these things. See, all these tricks you learn, since I quote unquote grew up before there were powerful IDEs, and so you learn little tricks for having to avoid typing things that the IDE is taking care of. See, you're not doing the right thing. So I'm going to have to debug why these guys aren't doing their navigate. Because I imagine if this should compile still. So like if I do this, yeah, why aren't you navigating to where you want to be? Oh, I don't think the sleep activity does it? Nope, sleep activity does not navigate. What it should be doing is similar to tend camp, in that if we're farther than we're supposed to be, we should navigate there. Let's add, so that's why they weren't navigating to the camp, because they didn't know they were supposed to. So let's steal. So all these are going to end up looking very similar. Walk to nearest object. Why aren't you ever setting... Oh, there it is. Yeah, so we want to come over here to the sleep activity. When it starts, we want to create the walk job. And we want it to go back to camp within 2 meters of the camp location. And then in here, we want to do basically this. I'm going to take out all the debugging because I don't care. Okay, so first, yeah, we'll leave that part in. So we'll say Okay. Let's see if that compiles. Yeah, there we go. Now they're going to navigate back. That was all part of the tend camp activity that I was using before, and so they automatically did that. I probably want to make that some standard boilerplate, because all of these activities are going to need that. Like, if they're not already there, go there kind of thing. It makes them more resilient. Like, I don't have to have activities that bridge the activities. And also, the more important thing is if they're doing an eat activity or a sleep activity and something else interrupts them, like they have to go check out a noise, and so we just immediately reinstate the sleep activity, they'll know, hey, I went and investigated something, I'm too far from camp, and so they'll walk back to camp. So it's just a good idea to have these sort of make up. Okay. And so it's probably worth creating some boilerplate around an activity that wants to make sure you're in a certain area. Okay. So you guys are doing your sleep thing, and we can now work on the patrol activity again. Okay, so in this one, source loc equals source loc. This dot dir equals dir. This dot min distance equals min distance. This dot max distance equals max distance. Yeah, I'm not sure I have a pre-built activity that lets me just give it a condition. So we may have to cut and paste that too. Let's say make a min dist squared. So other thing is I'm old school, and back in the day, a square root was like a thing you never did because it was super expensive. Path, location, distance squared. So you do everything like comparisons of distance and stuff in distance squared because it's cheaper. You don't have to do a square root to calculate it. Source loc. And if d squared is less than or is greater than min distance squared, return true, else return false. Yeah, so I could have just returned that, but okay, let's see if we're still compiling. We are. Everybody's still behaving. They are. Okay. So get estimated target. We actually can calculate an estimated target. Position. Estimated target. This dot estimated target equals new position or static position source loc dot add dir mult max distance comma new quad d. So we'll just say that's always the. Technically, we could take the current position. Like if we've wandered, we don't care where we go, so we only care about the distance. So if the path is wandering in this direction, we could project out here and make this the estimated target. That's one of the reasons you can recalculate the estimated target. So that we just find the most efficient way in this general direction to get, X number of meters away from the camp. But for right now, to simplify my life, I'm just going to hard code all this estimated target. And so that is basically done. It will do something. Somebody had to jump. Oh, to get back. Yeah, so they must have wandered away. Cool. Now, let me see what walk activities I have already. Whoops, wrong way. Wrong one. Walk to nearest object is the only thing I have. Wow, it logs a lot of crap. Nav targets. Oh, that's the other thing. What is nav targets? Oh, it's a special kind of target condition. Yeah. So let me prototype a walk activity, general walk activity. We'll call it. Let's be smarter than that. Doink. Everybody's pushing me around over here. Instead of walk to nearest object, general walk. Oh, general walk. We meet again. Okay, so we Alright, so general walk, instead of nav targets, we will just have target condition. Iterations per frame, that's good. Max iterations is also good. Agent, useful, pathfinder are also good. Arrived at, we're not going to arrive at objects, so we don't care about that. We do not care about any of that, so we'll just say this dot targets equals targets. That we want. That we want. That we don't want. That we don't want. We don't need that. We don't need that. That could be useful. Nope. Invalid isn't needed. Nothing's going to set it. So we don't need that. Get current iterations. Sure, that's a debug thingy. Alright, so this start note, leaving it up to the caller to decide if this agent is already at one of the locations. Nope. Start. Yep. Create Pathfinder static position start. Yep, all that's good. Sure, we'll leave all this debugging in because that is my way. This is the way. My wife and I have been watching The Mandalorian. I'd watched all but the last season, I think, with my daughter some years ago. Now my wife and I are watching them, so this is the way. So that's all good. That's good. That's good. That we don't need. This we don't need. Current target. We were only showing that. Yeah. Actions, run sequence actions, we don't need this. Targets. It's fine. Is it going to compile if I hit Control S? Nope. I mean, it did. Let's just do that. Okay, so it did not compile. On failure, unexpected token, line 315. Oh, because this is Groovy, not Java. So that's normal. Takes no arguments, so it goes like this. Okay. So they're all coming back. Patrol. You guys didn't have to come back. That's the way they're... Okay. So we have a new activity to give them when they're on patrol. And so instead of... Let's say... Instead of patrolling in a circle, let's just see if we can get them patrol away from the camp and back again, right? So general walk away. Walk back. So we'll just have them, instead of doing a circular patrol, we'll have them walk randomly away, then we'll have them navigate back. You know, wander for a little while, then navigate back. And then we'll walk away in a different direction, randomly walk, and then walk back. So that's all good. This walk away equals new. Well, we're going to want to reset that direction every time, aren't we? And we can... because we're just going to... Okay. So walk away. New. I already said that. Private. What do we call the? Nope. General walk. What do we do? Direction condition. New direction condition. The source loc, and it's not, it's walk back. I need to make sure all these walk jobs change. Walk back to camp. Walk job, walk job, walk job. Yeah, I'm gonna take all these out for now, because I'm gonna have a bunch of these. Alright, so if you are direction condition this dot condition equals new direction. Direction condition wants the source loc of direction. The source location is the camp. Yes. Camp location. The direction. Let's get a random dir. Random dir. Double x equals math.random times 2.0 minus 1.0. Technically I should be using a Gaussian distribution, but this should be fine. So vec3d result equals new vec3d xyz. If result dot length squared is not equal to 0, or is equal to 0, just return new vec3d 1 0 0. That prevents us from getting a divide by 0 if we try to normalize. Okay, so that'll set up a direction. Random dir. And while we're here, at override public string to string return direct get class dot get simple name. Why y'all up in my business, bandits? Dir. That's all we need right now because everything else is going to be the same every time. Okay, that way when we're getting debug information, we'll see that. What were we doing? Oh, yes. Min distance. Let's say we want them to get at least 32 meters away for now. And we'll head out. We'll try to head out 64 meters away. In reality, they would want to patrol farther than that. But that's a good... So this dot walk away, just walk away. General walk condition. All right. Walk away. All right, so we take the distance. If the distance squared is less than let's make these parameters 32 times min dist private double. Yeah, I think that's all we need, min dist. So if it's less than min dist, yeah, if it's less than min dist, we want to walk away. And on forward, say failed in, but what we want to do is indicate that we want to continue. I think I say context set status, context set status working. By default, if a nested action, nested activity fails, then it will fail the outer activity. We don't want that in this case. If we fail that, just come back and try again. Like, really, we would want to wander. But anyway, so if the context is fork returned, otherwise, so we say we succeeded in that, and so now, if we have, yeah, see, we want to have a state that we keep track of. Like, we want to know in here, enum patrol status. Actually, we could just do leaving, patrolling, returning, right? And so then private patrol status, and so when we start, this dot status equals leaving patrol status leaving, and so then regardless of whether we fail or not, we'll set the status to patrolling And we'll do the same thing for on success. So if the distance or we don't have to do that because of the way we've set this up. So if status equals patrol status leaving, and yeah, so that's fine. It will figure out it finishes really quickly. So if we're forked, we do that. Otherwise, if the status is patrol status patrolling, then we'll do this wander action. Okay. And then if that succeeds, on actually either way, on failure, on success, on failure, we set the status to returning. And on success, we set the status to returning. And even if we fail, we set that. And so then similarly, if status is returning, then we walk back. On failure, we set patrol status to leaving, or patrol status to done. Okay, let's see what that does. If it compiles. Okay, it compiled. Now, was that the real patrol activity that I was editing? It was. So really, when they patrol, it should try to do these. And activities don't have a status text, so we won't see that, but we will see the nested activities that they're doing. Alright, what time is it on the game? It's 3, so let's advance time a little bit. 3 hours. So that takes us to 2 a.m. Yeah, we got lots of time then. So it takes us to 6 a.m. And now breakfast. There we go. They finished sleeping, now they're all going to breakfast. Alright. And yum, yum, yum. Yeah, time should not be running so fast for them. Anyway, and say that about 9 o'clock they should hit patrol and will either fail dramatically. Patrol failed dramatically. No such property location for class nav path. Yes, it's end. Shoot. End location. Okay, so it's trying to walk the waypoints. One of these guys failed though. Like he's got a null activity. Oh boy. Sequence not started. Okay, so somebody messed up. Ruh-roh. Let's reset them for a second and see what happens. Yeah, so why? There's a state problem. I think I need to let these guys fail. If they're going to fail, because I think there's a state problem with trying to continue after failing. I think that's one of the reasons I haven't been wiring them up this way. Okay, let's make sure that that's not a like when the logs spin away like that, it's hard to tell whether the failure is just the logs not catching up or if there's a unrecoverable state and the update's not happening, or if I've still got a bug in my code. So we shall see. But yeah, we'll basically let this activity fail because we have the ability to restart it by reloading the script. So although really this status should be set based on the distance, so that if we're rerunning this activity, it will reassess. But it'll work itself out because the condition is built into all of the walk. Okay, so there's definitely something still wrong. Oh, maybe not. Oh no, that's the same thing. I need to take that out. Telling me where gravity's being set. Because in Mythruna and most games, actually, gravity is set to minus 20 meters per second squared. And in the playground, it was set to minus 10, which is why when I changed the jump forces, like in the playground, they were jumping super high. Because they basically had John Carter style jump capability. If anybody's familiar with the John Carter of Mars. Okay, that was a bug back there. Where'd it go? 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 Oh no. Okay, one of these guys failed, and she succeeded. She is walking away down some random action. Unfortunately, I think she fell off the ledge she was supposed to be on. Yeah, something else just... Oh. Yeah, I need to take that out, because that's causing me confusion. I'm getting confuzzled. So let's follow her, see what she does. I think she's going to fail, because I think she's supposed to be up on that ledge and she fell off. Okay, who is doing the sequence not started bit? Character agent driver. Yeah, so that's already happened sometime back. If I restart, will it restart? Yeah, see, I think it's stuck. She tried. I don't know if I can resolve this, but that's her sequence action, I believe, that somehow restarted. And see, that's the problem with... No, see, it's creating a new... No, so that's different. It might be a bug in the new activity. Oh, well, I left this, so basically that's crashing. Okay, so that might have been the issue. Because we have so much logging and stack traces, it's hard to say. I'm just going to try this one more time. If this doesn't work, I got to go to dinner, basically. But let me see. Might have fixed it. Maybe make the error more obvious. It'd be neat to see that, right? 7 of you on watching, according to the YouTube stats. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. La 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 la. Okay, so everybody should be brain dead when we start. That's the normal stack traces. Okay, so she may actually be back. Yeah, so they don't update their positions, which is good. So that means they reset every time. Or most of the times. There's some action that causes them to to persist their state. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so see, only one went out on patrol. That's weird. So that's a bug already. We don't know where she's going exactly. I need to have it so that it yeah, she almost fell off. She's going to fall off one of these. I guarantee it. And it's not supposed to be. She's so close to not. Yeah, I think she's headed over here somewhere. So hopefully she'll make it. Yeah, she was supposed to jump over that. Uh-oh, she failed. Alright, let's try again. March. Okay, so she's going to pick a complete different place to go. Oh, she was trying to wander. Okay, so now she's going back to the camp. So we'll at least functionally see that the parts are working. She should be heading back to the camp. Oh, come on, don't fall off the ledge. Yeah, you're going to get stuck. So that's the thing, is they don't have they have the avoidance that makes them turn away from walls and stuff while they're walking, but they don't have the little drop probes to make sure they don't walk off the ledges. That's something I definitely need to add because I was never able to properly build that into the pathfinding. If I build it into the pathfinding, then a bunch of accurate paths, or a bunch of viable paths, don't work. So she's going to get as close as she can. And then she should fail. Yep, so she failed. But we should be able to get her to go now. Oh, nope, so she's patrolling again. She's figuring out where she wants to go. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't work. At least one of them is. So I have a bunch of debugging to do, but functionally it's trying to work. She should jump. There we go. She's going to head out into the woods. Because that's the other thing, is they should be patrolling in a group. And they're not. So there needs to be like a coordinated walk activity. Actually, one of them needs to be the leader and one of them needs to be the follower, kind of situation. Oh, now she's wandering, and now she's plotting. She's wandering while she plots her way back. That's cool. So she should walk back to camp. This should actually succeed. I don't think she'll get stuck on anything this time. Blink. So she should head back. Oh, it's also dinner time, so that's what it is. Yeah, right. Okay, so they're back at dinner. So, I mean, functionally it's kind of working, and I have like a bunch of glitch and jank to work out. But I think that's where I'm going to end it tonight. These guys are considerably smarter than when we started, and they're getting smarter all the time. She has that look. Yeah, well, I mean, they're all bandits, and they're all dressed like ne'er-do-wells. So, wearing the dark clothing. I don't know. I wore dark clothing in high school, so a lot of times. Well, actually, eventually I opted to do the surfer t-shirts and skater t-shirts, but early on wore dark clothing. Anyway, that doesn't matter here or there. So I think that's where I'm going to end it. These guys are eating their dinner. I'm going to go eat my dinner. What is it? The police. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like 7 of you watching. That's pretty cool. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I know it won't let you comment on the video yet until it's published for real, but if you leave a comment, that's useful. If you're watching this later, definitely leave a comment. I like to hear what you guys think. And those are the patrons, and that's the Patreon link. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Do, 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 do.